Hello, Nali, you are first. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? Just move further over. Just make sure I can get through everything. I'm glad you're good. Sit down. I'm terrific, thank you. Right, a quick check. Can music be heard? Can I be heard? It is 6 p.m. on Tuesday evening here in Perth, the 15th of January. So this is the time I tend to catch some of the Australians and more Southern Hemisphere, and depending on all the crossovers of the time zones. 10 a.m. the 14th for you. Yeah, that's why all this is out. Because depending on where in the world you are, depending on what astrological phenomenon are going on. Thank you, Anna, for your resub for 4 months. Me and the music sound clear. Terrific. I've actually got all the balances right for once. The only thing I couldn't get done was I downloaded an extension to do the face masks for Streamlab for donations, and I couldn't get it sorted right because I was going to try and get it done for tonight, but that'll have to be for later because tomorrow's big red letter day. It's new computer day for Anna. So, oh, thank you for the host, Anna. Thank you very much. And I will do that now while I remember. You keep forgetting. I seem to be automatically hosting you when you're doing most of your streams, so it works out well. Is the queue open? Yes. If I do that now, then I won't forget. So yes, it's a very big big day tomorrow because we're picking up the new computer after lunch. So Anna has the morning to disassemble her big rig. So. And a flying trip out to grab a cable that our wonderful, beautiful Roxy was not having enough attention and decided to chew through a cable. So we were not best pleased, especially it was a backup. I can't remember the name for it, and a backup unit for all the memory, like a desktop storage unit. So to put everything on while we're resetting all the computers, and it's a special cable, so we've got to go tomorrow and grab another cable for it. Hello, external hard drive, that's the word I was after, thank you. Hello Pagacrease, how are you? Yes, we got one on special for 4 terabytes, so it will take all the information, well, more than all the information of both of them to back them up while we're, because Anna gets the new gaming computer and I'm getting her current gaming computer, so that my 15-year-old PC, which is her very, very old gaming computer, can go, because I only had a laptop and it wasn't able to stream well enough at all. Hello Red, how are you? Yes, I knew what I meant to say, but I couldn't think of the words. External hard drive, that's exactly the words I needed, thank you. So yes, we will. I'll sort out other little bits and pieces after we've resorted out computers again. So, and also, as I said, welcome, welcome, welcome Pagacrease, welcome Red. I've been very, very good. We've been very busy, as I was just telling Nali. It's new computer day for us in the house tomorrow. So we're picking up a new gaming computer for Anna, who's my daughter, and the mod on tonight. And we're going to do a swap, so she gets a new gaming one and I get her other gaming computer, which is only a couple of years old, but still a much higher spec than the one I'm using now. So we'll be swapping over all the computers and all the tech. So it'll be a busy 2 or 3 days, stripping down 2 computers, setting them up, all ready for streaming and everything. So that will be fun. And you'll notice there's lots of different things out on the table tonight. Yes, it'd be interesting to see how it goes, because I'm using, in computer terms, quite an old computer, because it's actually one that Anna built 15 years ago from scratch. It was her original gaming computer that she built up herself. Hello, Ninsalelnano. Nina Serrano. I hope I've got that right. I've probably butchered your name. I'm really sorry. Welcome to the channel. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. I am Tarot DNA, also known as Vera, and I will be your tarot reader tonight. I do tarot, oracle, Lenormand and Kipper and other cards. And before we get into the readings tonight, we're just going to talk a little bit about some astrology that's going on, which is quite profound at the moment and is affecting everybody on the planet and every zodiac sign. And for subscribers, there is a special spread for reading tonight. As you guys know, I tend to do special spreads for new moons or eclipses, and we have Pluto conjunct Saturn in a very rare occurrence in Capricorn, and it's the first time in over 500 years. So the last time it happened was 1518. So love that. Oh, thank you. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's I wanted to explain, because stellium is one of those astrological terms that people go, I'm not really sure what that means. And it is having 3 or 4 planets in one zodiac star sign at the same time. And you also must have either the sun, represented by this one, or the moon. And as it happens, this one has the sun. So we stellium in Capricorn, yeah. So we actually have several things happening. The stellium is like the umbrella, where we actually have in Capricorn, and I've actually put down the tarot card for Capricorn, which is the death card. And we have, this represents Ceres, which is an asteroid. We have closest, so in order of degrees, the lowest degree we have Mercury, planet of communication. We have Jupiter, the planet of expansion and growth. So they are right next to each other. So I've actually put these to give you, they're not exactly in size, but Mercury is one of the smaller planets and Jupiter is one of the largest. We then have the South Node, which is the node that reacts to your past. So, and that's the shape of the node. It's more like, it's got 2 little, almost like little speakers upside down. It goes like that. So that's the shape of the South Node when you see it in an astrological chart. Then we have Saturn, and Saturn has rings around it, and it's one of the planets that is actually on its side, tilted on its side. So we have Saturn. Saturn is one of our very slow planets. Next to Saturn we have Pluto, and again there's a big difference inside. Now these two are conjuncting at exactly 22 degrees and 47 minutes, so they are totally right next to each other, exactly the same degree. That is their conjunction. A conjunction on slow planets, we tend to say less than 5 degrees, and they've been going between 5 and 10 degrees next to each other since 2018. So they've come together many times where they've been very close, and it's almost like this dance that Saturn and Pluto do in the sky, where they're kind of They go out, they come in, they go out, they come in. It's a bit like a courtship. I'll say goodbye, I'll date you, I'll say goodbye, I'll date you, I'll say goodbye, I date you. So it's just very much, it's great. I remember better with visuals. I very much like that, and for a lot of people who don't do a lot of astrology, and by no means, I've done some astrology courses, but I still wouldn't say I'm a master astrologer or anything like that. So by having these two, this is the special conjunction that happens around about every 30 years, but 500 years since they've been in Capricorn. And then we have the sun, and because the sun is here, that makes it a stellium. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in Capricorn, an asteroid, which is Ceres, and the south node. So all of these are within 130-degree segment of the zodiac, and in fact they're a whole lot less than that. They're in about a range of about 15 degrees. So what's tarot? Hello, Bat Mike. I'm Bat Mike. Tarot is a form of divination. I am a tarot reader, and I'm also doing a little bit of astrology to explain to people that there's a particular astrological phenomenon in the sky with all the different, and this is just representative, not totally exactly to scale, of the different things that are in the sky in the sign of Capricorn. So I just thought I would explain a little bit about what's going on, because I like to. And for the subs in the channel, there is a special stellium spread with 5 cards. Now I've done it under Pluto because Pluto has a great deal to do with this, but also Pluto has 2 symbols. It has an astronomical symbol and an astrological symbol. You can get a tarot reading. I'm Mike. What's those cards say about April? They don't say anything about April. These are here to explain an astrological phenomenon called a stellium that's happening at the moment in the skies. But you can get a tarot reading in 2 ways. You can hang around in the channel and you will accrue in-channel currency called coins. And after about 10-15 minutes, you'll have enough currency to join the queue. So while you're waiting and chatting and seeing what we're doing, you can then put exclamation mark coins in chat, and it will tell you how many coins you've accrued over a period of time. And then when you have more than 10 or more, you can then put exclamation mark join, and you can join the queue for a tarot reading. So yeah, see, at the moment you've got 0 because you've just joined. So if you stay in the queue, you wait a little bit of time and you get the coins. You can follow and you will get enough coins, but the bot has to pick it up, and I have no control over how the bot does that. It does it in a cycle between 8 to 10 minutes. So depending on where in the cycles the bot's going around, it'll pick you up, and then you can check and you'll have more than enough to join the queue. Hello, Burnt to Crispers. You want a tarot reading? Oh, you're sick? That's no good. So, as I said, if you wait in channel for a little bit, you'll accrue the amount of coins, exclamation coins, to get a reading and join the queue, which is exclamation join. Or you can drop a follow and you will be able to pick up some coins a little bit quicker that way. So as I said, we have the stellium in all these planets, the asteroid and the south node. Now, because this conjunction happens so rarely, it very much makes a very big difference to everything that's going on. It's because it's in Capricorn, it's very much about structures, grounding. It's covering all the big areas in the world, so it will have an impact on politics, religion, schools, education, hospitals, corporations. It's on the big structures, so the big government structures, the big academia areas, the big faith and religion, the big money markets, all the big overarching themes of structure that we have, the legal system, all of those things, because of this stellium and the Saturn and Pluto conjunction, will be impacted over quite a long period of time, because they're slow moving planets, so their impact lasts for quite a while. You'd have to actually have enough, before you can actually join, you have to have enough coins, and that takes about 5 to 10 minutes. So you're not able to just jump in and then join the queue. You actually have to be here for a little while, and then you'll accrue enough, or you can follow and the bot will pick up, and then you'll be able to follow and join the queue. So it's just a little bit of a time thing, that's all. And you can let us know if you know anything about tarot, if you've ever had a tarot reading before, if you're new to tarot. So it just gets people a bit of used to what's going on here, because some people have had tarot readings before, some never have. So you can see that it's very, very complex with all the different planets, and certainly don't have the time. Would there be something like manifestation or gratitude to do at this time to set things in motion with regards to the conjunction at the moment? Hello Scuffers, how are you? Absolutely. And Bench Crispers, you've also been able to join the queue. Terrific. Yes, it absolutely does. Because we have Saturn in Pluto and it's Capricorn, it's bringing in a lot of hard work into the area, all those big areas of your life. It also is because it's in Capricorn, and we have Pluto, which is very much the planet that deals with death, purging and rebirth and regeneration. It's very much what we've been going through in the last couple of months. It's letting go of those things that no longer serve you, going forward with gratitude for the areas that you want to go in. This is even more so. It is very much a very big thing where it's going to be dropping structures, habits, beliefs that you've had for quite a long time, that you've realized you've either been through because you no longer need them, or they're things you've had through from your childhood or from your upbringing or your culture. And some of these things people will change and drop. There'll be a very big radical shift in all these areas. For some people it will be more so than others, especially if they actually have a lot of these in their natal chart in Capricorn. So I have Saturn in Capricorn in my natal chart, so the Saturn in Capricorn energy will affect me greater than it would someone who doesn't have it in Capricorn. But it will impact and affect people quite a bit, because we have Jupiter with all of this. So it's very much as we lay things down, and we have that transformation with Pluto, and then we have here with the Sun, Mercury really focusing on communication, but Jupiter very much the planet of expansion and growth and manifestation. South node is very much karmic and our past, and it's opposite 180 degrees to the North node, which is going forward and progressing. So that allows us to focus on those things in the South node that we want to let go of and proceed forward with gratitude and expansion, and the same with Jupiter. So put these here so you can kind of visualize the size of Jupiter compared to Mercury. This is very fast and quick communication, and it affects us in lots of different ways all through the day. And we know Mercury goes retrograde all the time, whereas Jupiter, much bigger planet, and its intensity of growth, manifestation and pulling abundance and good energy is huge. You can see by the physical size, it is so much bigger than all the other planets, and that expansion is in correlation to that. Hey Senpai! Started out really rough on day one, but I've been distracting myself with work. Oh, very Capricorn of you at the moment, with all these planets in Capricorn and work and doing all those things. If you ever want to catch up, and I've been on Facebook for ages, Final Fantasy. But you know, you can always chat to Senpai. We're always here for you if you need us. Absolutely. That's what friends are for. So, So Nali, did that answer your question? There's very much the capability for doing all of that with manifestation and growth and working on all these areas. But I really did want to give people a visual of exactly this, because it's very hard to kind of put all that together, but I thought visually seeing all the differences might make a big difference. I'm going to put some of these over here. Oh, I'm very pleased. You're very welcome, I'm Bat Mike. Now I'm going to put these ones over here for a minute. And very quickly talk about the Pluto side of the conjunction. Pluto is very much Scorpio. It's very deep diving. This is very much the stage of letting go of the death, the purging of all those things, and the laying down of anything toxic in our lives. We've been saying this for quite a few weeks now. Letting go of things that no longer serve you, outdated processes, routines, habits. It's a new year, the start of a new decade, and with this stellium, with all this planetary energy, having it in Pluto is a really good push forward for you to go, getting rid of all of that, decluttering all of those things, out with the old, in with the new, and to use this very much as the card of saying, letting it all go. The PL here is for Percival Lowell, who actually early on was the scientist, the astronomer who was looking for Pluto, and when it was actually found, it was his initials that created that glyph of the PL, and I think it's actually a monochrome that he used for back then his own cufflinks or something like that. It may very well have been, but that's where the glyph and the PL come from, was from Percival Lowell. And this is the astronomical sign of Pluto, because he was the astronomer that was looking for the planet. And you'll see the astrological, which is very similar to the three-headed trident with the cross, but it has the ball in the center, and that's because Hades and Pluto and Poseidon and Neptune were brothers, and that is why it has the ball in the middle, but also it's very similar to the trident of Neptune, because they've joined the two because they were actually brothers. And that's why we have a different astrological symbol to the astronomical symbol for Pluto, unlike all the others. So does anybody have any questions on the Saturn Pluto conjunction, and anything else before we get into some readings and start our evening? Hello Firesaw, how are you? Nope, no questions. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tarot DNA. And I'm your tarot reader for tonight. Welcome to the channel. So we're going to see who's first in the queue. For those of you who have not followed, you have a 1-card reading from any of the decks here. For those who have followed, you get a 3-card reading. For those who are VIPs or subscribers, you get a 5-card reading. The special stellium reading is for those that have subscribed or VIPs, because it's a 5-card reading. I can do a very small subset reading for the 3 cards for the followers on how 3 cards are going to affect them in the stellium reading. So I'm going to see who is first and see who is next up. Red, VCD, you are our first current reader for tonight. Now I'm pretty sure, Red, you are a follower. I just wasn't sure if in the sub bomb you'd been given a sub last week or not. So I know some people did and some people didn't. Anna, can you check for me if Red has a sub? Just while I get him to pick a deck. So Red, can you pick a deck for me from the Hermetic Tarot, the Crow, Dreams of Gaia, the Legacy, or the Tarot Apocalypsis? Follow, no sub. Okay, so 3 cards. Thank you very much. So Red, you will get 3 cards from the deck you choose, plus one of our bonus cards at the end of the reading. So Red, can you please tell me which deck you would like? You can either go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Or you can pick from the stones, which is Hope for the first deck, Courage for the second, Dream for the third, Love for the fourth, and Believe for the fifth. They aren't here. Well, calling Red, are you lurking? Can you hear us? Because I need you in chat. You are first up on the reading. Not in chat at all. Okay, so if he comes back in, we can do it, but the next one up. That was a really fast reading. Lightning. Burnt Crispers. How are you? Are you in chat? Please say exclamation ready or that you're here, and let me know you're in chat, please. Good as always. Terrific. That's what I like to hear. So, first question. Have you ever had, or do you understand or know anything about tarot? Follow us, so 3 card. Thank you. Hi, Skiv. No, you've never, okay. So I'll explain. Tarot cards have a set structure. It's not that you need to know it, as long as I know it as the tarot reader, but we have 78 cards in every deck. There are normally 40 what we call minor cards, which are very much like a normal deck of cards. They're 1 to 10 in 4 suits, and the suits in tarot are swords, cups, pentacles, and wands. They go to the elements. We then have 16 court cards, which are a bit like your Jack, Queen, King in a normal deck of cards, and we have an extra one. We have a page, a knight, a queen, and a king. The thing that puts tarot unlike a normal deck of cards is we have 22 majors, which go from 0 to 21, and they're the big archetypes, themes of a tarot deck. So I'll explain as we go along a little bit more. That's good. Are you confused? I don't know why it did that. Don't know why it did that. So can you pick a deck for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. Hope, courage, dream, love or believe. I'll do skiff next then. Number 3. Okay. Now, Ben Crispers, I can do a general reading in 3 cards. I can answer a specific question you have, or I can do you 3 cards as part of the bigger stellium reading. So, do you want a general reading? Do you have a specific question, or would you like the 3 card special reading? Yeah, I'm sorry, Skiff, I don't know why it did that, because I just pressed next. So I'm not quite sure. And it had updated, and I turned it off and redid it. The 3 card special. Okay. I'm not quite sure why that happened. Just going to grab something off the shelf. These are the elements, because every one of these suits pertains to an element, and this is a very elemental deck, and it will just help you understand as I pull them out. So, we are doing Saturn and Pluto and the integration of the conjunction. This is what we call our shadow card. Hello, Light Major Potatoes. How are you? Welcome to the channel. And although you do a 3 card reading, the reason I chose this is because Pluto is very much to do with the Scorpio energy, and in Capricorn it's the very dark, so we tend to go on the underside and check the shadow card as well. And this particular shadow card is actually card 21, is perception. So this shadow card is very much saying that sometimes in a situation, your perception of the situation can be shadowed and not exactly what the situation is. You have to be careful, especially with the stellium of Saturn and Pluto, of reading more into something than is actually going on, but still be aware, because this has a very long sword here. Perception is very much to do with swords, is our mental clarity and focus, and sometimes our perception is swayed by other things we're bringing to the situation in our thought process that we've either heard or had communicated to us. So sometimes we're not looking at the facts and the figures, we're actually looking more at our perceptions and what we perceive the situation to be rather than what it really is. That's so true. That's the shadow card. So this is telling you to put you on notice with Pluto, especially in Capricorn, that in very practical everyday and work matters, not to perceive something first. So sometimes you're putting your perceptions first in a practical matter, and that is more likely to get you into deep water, rather than if you step back and put your perceptions down and look with more clarity and focus. And with the Capricorn being more grounded and looking at facts and figures more than your perception of something. So I'm glad that's true, that sits well for you. So this is the other Pluto energy. It is 20, which is desire. These two go very much together, the 20 and the 21. And when we see them as a pair, Desire again is very much deep Pluto, because it also rules Scorpio, which is sexuality, which is desire, which is often we want something now. And again, that can be very much with our perception, is we don't want to wait, and we can deep dive into things without thinking about them. We want it now. And sometimes our desires and wants overcome actually what we need in reality. It's just, I want chocolate chip ice cream and I want it now, and going out to find the first shop I can find that sells chocolate chip ice cream. So it's very much, and that desire can go all the way down from I want something to eat or to drink, all the way down the spectrum to all levels of behavior, especially as we're in Pluto season with the conjunction and all the others, and we're trying to put down habits and behaviors that aren't serving us. So, hi Elpis Self, how are you? Lovely to see you here. So this is very much taking those into account with that very deep, dark Pluto energy, to make sure that those things you're very aware of in the structures of what's going on in your everyday life. Actually amazing, thank you very much. We're only halfway through. And then you have one extra card after this. It can be quite surprising when you've never had a tarot reading before. We're now going to Saturn. Saturn is more the planet of expansion. It's not quite like Jupiter, but it's opening us up into a much different way than what the Pluto energy is, which is very much more rules and regulations in the darker side, more father archetypal, whereas Saturn is more open, giving, and more the mother archetype. So here you actually have faith. You've had 3 major cards, which is telling me that you actually have a lot of big themes going on in your life and underlying and underpinning your life so far. And there could be some really big major transitions and shifts for you in the next 12 months regarding how you perceive things, what you desire and what it is you're trying to make of your life, and where the things you really enjoy that have your passion and desire are going to take you, whether that's to a new country, traveling, to a new job, to a new relationship, to working in a whole new sphere, taking study courses. It's those big themes I talked about where it's politics, it's religion, it's faith, it's spirituality, it's academia, it's the military, it's the legal system. All of those big structures we have, corporate structures, they're changing, and people are changing amongst that as well. So the faith one here is saying, when you realize exactly what it is you want to do, almost you're calling to your soul purpose when you really dig deep, and then you have this perception, you realize that some of your perceptions are skewed, and that you then have this renewed faith in yourself. And I don't just mean spiritually or with the church, but actually realizing that you now know where it is you want to go yourself. When you have all of these together, that is how you then go forward and integrate those desires, that faith, and the shadow card of restructuring those perceptions and bringing them all into alignment with this card, which is the 5. And as you can see, it is the 5 of earth. It is grounding. This particular 5 here is very much saying you are halfway to your journey, so you know you have a long way to go. 5s are very much, in the normal tarot, this is the 5 of Pentacles. It's very much, I'm called to go further on with my material resources, with what I'm doing, with my job, all of those things in my material life. But also it can say, if we haven't put enough of a foundation or enough money behind us, we can feel a little bit strained as we're changing everything around, and there's so much tumultuous change and upheaval in our lives. This one here He's showing you he actually has cards, and he's saying, I actually have all the aces, and that's telling me that I actually have everything I need to go forward. My faith is strong, my skills and my abilities are strong, I feel grounded, and I know exactly where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I know I have the internal faith and strength to do that, and I'm now feeling very grounded and feel I have all the new structures and things in place. This isn't going to happen in a few days or a week. It's going to take some time, but this is very much over the year. There are going to be some very big changes coming in your life, but you'll feel more grounded afterwards and feel that you then have a new way of looking at your life purpose and where it is you want to go this year. You're getting a career right now. It certainly comes through that you're having a big change and you know exactly where it is you're going. So you've obviously been feeling this because this has been going on since 2018 for some people. So some people have a lot further way through than others. And this, thank you so much. You're very welcome, Christmas. You're very welcome. For those of you who have followed, please press the notification bell so you know when I go live. And if you are active on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. Go down to the panel below and follow my Twitter and Instagram, because I always say when I'm going live on Twitter, and then you won't miss one of these because I actually stream 3 times a week in different time zones. You're very, very welcome. I'm still taking readings off yet. The queue is still open. The first one didn't stay in channel long enough. He's first in the queue and missed it. And again, from now until the end of March, I am an Aussie girl. I'm from Perth, Western Australia, and I think everybody all over the world knows that Australia is burning and has been for several months and will be probably through our entire summer, and we have already lost close to 1 billion animals, have been estimated by wildlife experts, as well as the homes, the people, the businesses and the towns. So if you can at all, in any way, shape or form, use !charity to bring up our Tiltify link for money for the World Wildlife Fund Australia, which is to help all the animals who have been injured and have lost their habitats and are needing huge amounts of relief to help them not only get them back on their feet and injured, but then rehabilitate them back into the wild and actually to plant new habitats and actually get the habitats there for them. And like at the moment, they're airdropping food because there is no vegetation, and most of our animals are herbivores. They need the plant material and it's all been burnt away. So if you possibly can, throughout the evening or at a later date if you can't do it tonight, but if you've enjoyed what I read for you tonight, then please, if you can possibly do a donation, it's really, really appreciated. And if you do, you also get extra cards with your reading. And we will try to make our 500 target, but there will be some incentives as we get closer to the halfway mark. Oh, I read your back. Okay, great. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read Skiff and then I'll read you, because you weren't here and you missed your reading, so I'll slot you back in. Okay? So, not a problem at all. So I'm going to do Skiff. Let me just bring up that cue for the second. I do have the Druid deck, yes I do. And I will grab you the Druid deck, Skip. Where are you? Yes, I have several people who request the Druid deck. I have quite a few. I'm in the process of photographing all my bookshelves with the decks on and putting the names of the decks under the shelf. so you know which tarot decks and oracle decks I have. So Skiff, am I right? You have a sub? Yes, you subscribed. You have. So you get a 5-card reading, Skiff. So do you want a general reading? Do you have a question? Or do you want the Stellium 5-card reading? Yes, you definitely a sub because I can see it here. You want a general. Okay. Yeah, just in the mini feed. Sometimes I can scroll, and if it hasn't been too long ago, I can actually see them, but just when they're further away. So, general 5-card. So after Skiff, I'll do red, and then I'll take the next person in the queue. Okay, Skiff, we have the 5 here. The crowning card at the top is actually the Princess of Pentacles. So Pentacles are earth. This is the element of earth. Pentacles are resources, material resources, our everyday life. It can also mean our time and our energy. It's how we budget our monetary resources, but how we budget our time, how we budget our energy, how we budget ourselves in the hours we're at work, our work-play life balance, all of those things, the furniture in our house, our car, all the everyday things. So it's all on the everyday, normal realm. The Princess is the lowest of the 4 court cards. We have the Princess, we have the Prince, we have the Queen, and the King. Princess is someone who is still learning how to control and balance all the different parts of the material resources in their life. So this is someone who is still trying to balance the checkbook, someone who is still trying to balance their work-life balance, their time, how much they're in the house, how much they're out, all of those things together. It's very much not saying that you are a young person who can't do this. It's saying this is the overall energy that is around at the moment. And I know some people, especially in the new year after Christmas, and there's going back to work, kids going back to school, lots of things have changed over the holiday period, that sometimes the house and all the everyday mundane things can almost be a little bit chaotic. You're horrible with time management. That's what it's picked up on then, because people think that it's just money and everything else, but actually one of the biggest things is time and energy management resources, because if we're not good at managing our time, we're often not good at managing our energy, because we run out of energy and time to do things, because we're almost on the back foot trying to make appointments on time, that we tend to put ourselves under a lot of stressful energy, and that's very much part of the resources. And this is with the Princess saying that's part of the physical resources and the skill level you still have to master, which is why at the Princess level, that it's something you need to work on this year to become more grounded and not miss out on opportunities, because this is sapping your energy, plus putting you behind and making things much more chaotic in your life than they need to be, when actually it should be quite grounding, starting to build quite a steady future. And we're in the year of the Emperor, which is building new patterns of behavior, new supportive patterns in our life, and building a foundation that we can grow on that's quite solid. And time and energy management is incredibly important, because if we can't even do that, we find it even harder to balance our checkbook, because we're not making our appointments. We just seem to be too tired to do those other small things that keep everything in check. So I'm glad that one made sense. We have here the Chariot. The Chariot is a major arcana. You also have it paired with Justice, another major arcana. These two cards are saying, as you actually get this area grounded and under control, you'll then find huge movement and balance in your life. The Chariot is very much Cancerian energy. It is the moon energy, and it is moving forward at a very measured pace. The two horses here are often pulling in the wrong direction. When you have not very good time management, that's when going forward is always going in fits and starts, and then you make the wrong direction and the wrong turn because you're not prepared, and therefore the journey goes askew. So by not actually having the time and energy area under control, the movement and progression also goes sideways. Does that make sense? That when you're having problems with the time management, when you go on journeys, it makes sense? Great. Because the Chariot is very much, now I'm able to really move ahead. But when you go on a journey, we know where we're starting, we know where we're finishing, and we tend to have a route or a map or the sat nav, put in the coordinates, we know where we're going. If in life the time and the balance and our energy aren't working, it's very hard to plan a route, because we're actually then, I'm running late, I'm trying to take shortcuts, and that's when we take the wrong turns, and that's when we go totally off track. You know, flat tires, break an axle rod, in the ditch, and all these things happen because we're flustering and we're trying to make up time. So we don't have smooth journeys, the planning is not great. So this is saying that, especially coming up to this year of 4 being planned and having these things set, it is the time to make new patterns of behavior, setting the alarm for half an hour earlier to get yourself more ready in the morning, or whatever your time frame is of when you work or what you're doing. That makes a difference, because when we get the movement under control and we have justice, this can say there might be a lot of movement and leading towards legal battles, or if there is a legal situation going on, it could very well go forward in your favor. If this is going off skew with, that could also send this card going off the wrong way as well. So all of these three is like a cascade event going down. Getting this under control, these two especially, because they're major cards and have a big influence on all of what's going on here. So definite movement and progression. But again, if there is anything legal, and this can be from selling a house, you know, passports, to anything to do with contracts, new jobs, all of those things, because justice is also legal contracts. It's what people call up to, you know, you'll start a new job, you have to sign a contract here, you have to sign this paper. It's all the legal documents and papers, all of those things. There is progression in that area. This can put it off track, but these two are saying there's a very good chance this year there's going to be a lot of movement forward, and there's going to be some legal things going on as well. Does that make sense and resonate with you? If there aren't legal situations going on now, don't be surprised within the year if there's something come up, and it might be new contract, it might be buying something. Plan on actually getting my passport actually to go to Europe. That's what those two are very much about. That's your travel. That's making sure you have all the paperwork in place. So double check on visas, double check on your passport, give yourself more time, double check on tickets, all of these things. But if you don't have this time management and energy under control, you are going to miss something here, which is quite critical. So getting this in place is very important, so it doesn't cascade down to the movement and the travel and the legal situations, especially with passports and visas, depending on where you're traveling from, all of those things, and any other paperwork that may be in place. It's amazing what the general reading We'll get things settled. Yeah, this is the time actually here to start writing out a list of exactly what you need, like printing out everything you need from the site, the website for the passports, making sure you have the pictures. I know when we came over here, getting the right picture, exactly the right specs that they want for the passport, very particular. Can't just go anywhere. It has to be a particular passport size and the right amount. And you can't smile and you can't wear glasses and all those types of things that have to be done. They've got to be right. Making sure you have all the name paperwork and all the supporting paperwork. It's little things like that, and you think you've got it all right, and they go, oh no, but it changed here. Double checking, because that's what actually holds you up. They're the tiny niggly little legal things that you think, oh. And if you've got to travel, yeah, read up on it already and fill the paperwork, just need the picture. Double check everything, especially as it's a new year. They may have added something to it. Double check nothing has changed on the paperwork, or you need something extra, and that it's all in date, because sometimes by the time you get down there, if you had it 2 days out of date, they won't accept it. So just double check all those little details. I know, having travelled 3 hours to get ours in London to come over here, it was like, oh, don't tell us we've got to come back another day. It's a 6-hour round trip. No, thank you. We then have the Fool, which is the start of a new journey. And you also have here the Six of Pentacles. The Fool is starting a whole new journey. So coming after the Chariot, coming down here, that's saying time and energy is all sorted, going on the new journey. This journey is a different type of journey. It's saying maybe while you're traveling, something will take your eye and it will take you on a different pathway. And I don't just mean different traveling countries, that you might say, yes, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to go somewhere else, but it might take you and you'll see something and you'll go, that's something I've got to follow up. It's very different. It's something I haven't thought of. It's something new. Allow yourself when you're there to be more open-minded, more open to receiving ideas, signs, symbols. You might hear something, you might see something that triggers something in you that you go, I could do that. That's something very different. And it might mean a whole new way of life. A whole new way of life, which often what the Fool is. It is a brand new start. And there's going to be a lot of those things happening for people this year in 2020 with the Four, where they're letting go of old ways of doing things and they're taking a whole new path and they're opening up and going, this is a whole brand new life for me. It's a whole new decade and I'm taking my life in a totally different direction. And that can often happen when you have the Chariot, which is moving forward, and then the Fool. When you have the Six of Pentacles here, this is the card of giving and receiving. Because you started with the Princess of Pentacles here, they have got past the 1 to the 10, so they've been through the 6 and they understand that when we have all our physical resources and we have everything settled, we are able to then give to others who might be in need and help out family and friends, or philanthropically other people. It also means that sometimes when we have the 6, that there is a gift coming for us, because we're the one who's going to be given something and not giving away, and receiving of not like a huge win on the lottery, but having some extra being given to us as a gift, as a small token. Sometimes it's monetarily, sometimes it's in kind. It's a different way, but receiving something that makes a difference to us, that we realize has been given as an appreciation, as a gift, as a subsidy, something extra special. And because it's over here with Fool, it could very well mean that from this change in your life, this new journey, you are being given not only a whole new way of life, but somebody might help you on the way in the beginning to get you started. Going to TwitchCon EU in Amsterdam to meet your girlfriend. Oh, how lovely. You may find something very different going on there, and you may just find it's a whole new journey. that's going on as well. But I get the feeling there's going to be something there that's really going to, you're going to go, wow. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I can see a very new change here in the journey, in the life. Something very, very profound is going to happen while you're away traveling, and it could very well be while you're there with your girlfriend that you see something, or between the two of you, there's a whole new way of life going on. It is great, and that's just what came up for you in the general reading. And thank you so much for asking for the Druid deck. I love this deck, and there's several people who ask for it. And if you know I have a deck, or you can always ask if I've got a deck. If I have it, I will bring it out for you. I'm going to do one other card because you had a general reading, and that is, do you want a universe card, a kipper, a chakra, or a wicker card? A wicker? Right. So how long is it away before your trip to TwitchCon EU? April 26th. Wonderful. So the cards did read for April for you very much. The wicker card that's come up for you is autumn. I need to take these off because I can't read with my distance glasses. Autumn is a rich tapestry of colour and the earthy sense of decay. A time to reap nature's bounty at the harvest as the old withers and dies. The two minor arcana cards that you had for Pentacles were very earthy and very much the earth and the autumn here. So I think this message is going to tie in with your Princess of Pentacles and your Six of Pentacles here. It is a season of endings and completion, a turning point on the wheel of the year between the free and easy living of summer and the restrictions of winter. I think you will find that some of the changes that you find in this year you would expect to happen almost at this time of autumn with the change in seasons, that maybe your trip in April you see something and over that period of time it might take you on a different journey, and could very well be around the autumn time. This card is picking up that after that trip things will happen and there will be a new life, and it will very much ground you with the Six, and there might be other the bounty of the harvest of the autumn, you being given something with the Six of Pentacles, because that would tie in with this being a seasonal card and the fact that you've traveled, and that there is also the Fool, that there is another change in the destination, and that could very well be in the autumn, that there is going to be, through from this traveling in the April, in the summer, that there is a change coming. Autumn is associated with death, loss and mourning, as well as emotional healing and letting go. And it's very much that when we harvest something, we know that we're taking the bounty from the harvest, and that then everything is going to go fallow. I think when you've been past the journey of the Chariot and the Justice with the passports and everything else, the full journey is a fresh new start, and that is that letting go. That's that death, that loss, that mourning. It's almost like saying that summer we've kind of, now we're starting in the next chapter. There's a whole new life starting, and it's that bounty of harvest and then going through that whole change. It is a good time of year to reflect on the past and to come to terms with any unfinished business. And it's very much like it is with that Princess of Pentacles, with the energy. It's making sure that anything that doesn't serve you, and before you make that final change on the new pathway coming with the Fool, make sure everything's cut and dried and finished beforehand, so that you're not dragging something through, that all the ends are cleared and neatly put away, and that you've taken care of everything, and your time management has made sure that nothing's overlapping, that everything's sorted. Does that make sense, and how does that feel? Feels great. Very positive reading for me. It was very positive. It was very positive. Glad you enjoyed it. Take care. And thank you for letting me read it for you. You enjoyed it too. That's good. That's really good. And sometimes, even though I'm reading for someone else, some people may also get messages that they feel, yeah, that actually applies to me too, and I can take from that as well, and that's fine. Now, Red, we're going to read for you now because you weren't here in the beginning. So we'll read for you now, and then we can take the next one in the queue. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. As I said, for those that you haven't followed, you will get 1 card. For those that have followed, you will get 3 cards. VIPs and subscribers will get 5 cards. And if you have followed, please press the bell so you get notified when I go live, and also follow me on Twitter for live notifications. You're very welcome, Skip. You're very welcome indeed. So, Red, are you here? Please tell me in chat you are here. You better be in chat, because if you're not here, I'm skipping over you and I won't come back to you. You only get 1 extra chance. Left again. Done. Can't wait around for a reading. 2 chances, that's it. Bad time management on this fella. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when he was first in the queue. There you go. Hello, I'm back, Mike. How are you? I'm not. Why is it doing this? It's reluctance. Hang on. Let me just go into. They would be for me. What is this queue doing? Okay. Anna, can you check through? Because they would be for me. Yeah, there should be reluctance and let's just check. I have no idea why. It had an update and it seems to have broken it because it's just I've only got Elf left in the channel. Out. Yeah, reluctance was before, so I'll do reluctance. Yeah, reluctance. Yeah. So I'll do reluctance. Then I'm that Mike, and then Elf. I have no idea why it's doing that. It updated. Apparently broke. No idea why. So, reluctance. Are you in the queue? Please say yes. That's what goes on with live, doesn't it? It's the way Twitch is, it's the way the bots work, and sometimes Yeet, how'd you join the queue? Oh, thank you very much for the sub. Why am I not getting any alerts coming up? Not hearing any alerts, didn't see the alert come up. Thank you very much for that sub. Do appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm Tara DNA. Yeah, the bot's mad at me for some reason. I don't know what I did, but I obviously did something wrong. You didn't mean to join the queue. Okay, well, Reluctance is the next one up. I'll just send, no, that's okay. You're here, don't worry about it. That's fine, because we've already got you in the queue. Okay, Reluctance. Now, are you a follow or a sub? I'm just trying to see. You can only join once, it won't let you do it any other than that. So I know you followed, yeah. So thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for subscribing. And I'm really sorry, but my bot's obviously really cranky at me because he doesn't want to give me any alerts and he doesn't want to let me pick things on the stream deck for the queue. So I'm obviously in the bot's bad book. So there you go. Smack my hand. I've done something wrong to the bot today. Okay, Reluctance, you have a 3-card reading. So first of all, let's pick a deck. Do you want the Hermetic Tarot, the Crow Tarot, the Dreams of Gaia, the Legacy, or the Apocalyptics? Or you can pick the stones, Hope, Courage, Dream, Love, and Believe. You want the Dream one. Okay. So you're having 3 cards. Do you want a 3-card general reading? Do you have a specific question? Or do you want the 3-card and you have the Stellium 3-card reading? You want the special. Okay. For those who just joined us, I showed earlier a comparison visual of the 5 planets, the South Node and an asteroid Ceres in Capricorn at the moment, and it's called a stellium in the sky when we have the Sun as one of the planets. And we also have Pluto and Saturn conjunct, which is their first time in Capricorn conjunct at exactly the same degree of 22 degrees 47 minutes in Capricorn in 500 years. Astrologically and astronomically, this affects globally how people interact and react with large organizations. So we said I would do a special because I tend to do special reads for moon eclipses and full moons and new moons and very special constellations, stelliums like this one. Mother, is the fire hot? Oh, it's absolutely hot, yeah. Because we just got a fire sign come straight out, so yeah. Thank you, Anna. There's one underneath I'm trying to get. So as I said, this is the shadow card because it's in Pluto. This is the Pluto, this is the Saturn energy, this is the integration of the two. This is the conjunct integration. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well done. Absolutely. So, reluctance. Here we're going to go. We have as your shadow card and you see here, this is also an earth sign. And it's not unusual with this stellium to get a few earth signs coming up because it is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is a grounded elemental. We have here the 7 of Pentacles or Earths in this suit. In a normal tarot deck, this is seen as patience, which is one of the attributes very much of these constellations that are Earth, in Earth, is that patience of waiting, of doing things with diligence. This particular card also has all the chakras, and it has the tree here of life with life-giving form here. So this is saying we have abundance, and in the stellium we had Jupiter with growth and abundance, but it's also saying, as in the seasons, we need to allow the earth and the soil to be tilled, seeds to be grown. We have that time of growth, and then we have the harvest, and that's where we then get our abundance in the harvest. So this is saying when we have the patience and we go through the seasons in time, as we do with our chakras, and we balance our internal life and our internal world with the external, that's when we feel grounded and in peace. When you put this in the context of the stellium of 5 different planets, an asteroid and the South Node, it is very much saying there is a lot of energy out there. There are lots of things that we're looking at, taking stock of, resurrecting, changing, rebuilding, letting go of, all of those things. And it's very much what we do on a day-to-day basis, but it's also very much in our life, how we take stock of our life at different times in our life. This is one of them when we say, what can we prune out? If we were taking the analogy of the harvest, what can we prune at the time when the wood is dead and we don't need it anymore? How can we make sure that the ground is well tilled and fertile and ready for growth? By being proactive, positive in our energy. So this card is saying, although when we have patience, there are things we can do while the harvest is there, we can ensure that we are ready to bring in the harvest, but we're also ready for the next harvest and the recharging and what is going on in our life. So that's the shadow card, saying that there's very much, you have to be aware of everything going on around you, the seasons, and being more grounded in your approach to things. Does that make sense to you, Reluctance? That's your shadow card. We then have, this is Pluto, this is Saturn, this is the main conjunction in the stellium that's going on. Hello Heather, how are you? Welcome to the channel. Nice to see you here. So Reluctance, did that first card make sense to you? Hope it did. We're now going on to the second, which is the card for Pluto, which, as we said, is very much, you just woke up. Oh, have a cup of tea, girl, or a cup of coffee, whichever you need to wake up. Yes, oh, that's good. That's fair enough. It's just because this is different to the normal deck, so I just like to make sure people understand the different symbolism and what's going on in this deck. This is the Queen of Fire. So we have the grounding energy as our shadow energy, but with Pluto in Capricorn, but Pluto is very much a planet of deep diving. It is very much being aware of everything that's going on. The fire is raising things to the ground. This Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Fire in this deck, is the element of fire. The Queen is able to control the fire, control her element, control her passions, her desires. In Pluto, it's very much about desire and what we want, and that we want it now, our needs and wants, and putting our wants and desires above actually what we need. When it's the Queen, she's normally able to keep a tight control over the balance of wants and needs. But in this, sometimes in this area and in the stellium and with Pluto and Saturn, it can be very much the wants and the desire win out if we don't keep that control, unless we know that what we're actually letting go of is no longer serving us and it's outdated and outmoded, and we don't longer lead it because we've looked deep and hard and go, no, that's not working anymore, so I need to let that go. I actually do need to burn it. I need to get rid of it. So when that happens, normally our Queen of Wands also has the butterflies here. It's very transformational. This is a huge time of transformation of your energy, of your life, of bringing things into perspective, and fire and light and the sun in the stellium really putting the light on the shadows and getting rid of that. But that actually has been in the shadow too long and it needs to come forward. It's actually something I want to focus on, and it's something I need to do. And that's how we can use that fire to raise everything and then have the rebirth and the regrowth. As you know, Australia is burning and we have huge areas that are decimated. But what we also know is that they will regenerate over time and it will change the surface. And when that does change, because of this, other policies and things will change within Australia, and hopefully this will never happen again. And that's whether it's to do with fire management or people management, conservation, whatever it is, not getting into an argument or a discussion about it. It's just that's what happens when you've had such a significant event happen over an entire country as large as Australia, and things change, things have to change. And in the period that we're in at the moment, this catastrophic event, lessons have to be learnt, changes have to be made, and move on. This is the same in our personal lives. That's it on a massive scale. It's on a smaller scale in our lives, but it's just as meaningful. When things go totally wrong, or we let them go and we go, that's it, then we move on, restructure, regrow, rebirth, regenerate, and realize that we are then coming into the next phase of the equation. This here is the 5 of water. So we literally have the opposites of fire and water, a little bit like we do with Pluto and Saturn. Not the same elementally, but these two elements are very much in balance, and this is what we try to do. It's our hot-headed and our desires and wants of the fire energy to our cool, calm-headed feelings and emotions of the water. So when we come down from the fire energy, the water energy calms us down, and then we can integrate the two and have some sort of balance and moving forward, because we're not all in this totally consumed fire energy, nor are we totally consumed with our emotions and our feelings, where we're just going, it's all feelings or nothing. This is allowing action. If you see here, we have the fish, we have the water, but actually the 3 fish are so bright, it's almost like the fire. It's almost like saying we are able to balance even with our emotions and still have some of that fire energy. We're not totally dousing the fire energy, we're actually incorporating it into the water. And again, with different decks, different pictures, and you just see exactly that same coloration here, that we have that ability to see what's going on and to have that balance and flow in our life to move forward. We then have the integration card, and this is actually the 3, and it's air. And the fact that you have 4 cards and all 4 elements are in the 4 cards. Gives you a very balanced elemental reading in what is a very elemental deck. That's lovely, because the whole thing we want to do with fire and water is to create a balance. It's like the Temperance card. It's that flow and balance of our emotions and our feelings compared to our passions and desires and our action and ambition and what we're going to do. The Earth is making sure we're grounded, but the air sign here, the 3 of air, is like the 3 of swords. Now, in a normal tarot, that would be heartbreak. And that's not saying there won't be some heartbreak, and as we're letting things go before we rebuild, there will not be a period of a time frame where we feel sad of what we've let go and we are getting past that to move forward. Because when we let something go, even if it hasn't served us any longer, whether it's an idea or a habit, giving up smoking, getting fitter at the gym, even something like that, when we give that up, it can be quite difficult. And we look back and say, it was so much easier when I did that, because it's what we know. Breaking free of that, moving forward, can be quite difficult. But also, it's actually bringing in our thoughts and our mind saying, this I know is a better way forward. I understand I need to be grounded. I understand my thought process have to be the bridge between what I'm getting rid of and what I'm bringing into my life. And the thought processes and the acting on those thoughts and those ideas and that communication and how I put this all into place is very important of what's going to happen in the new year and how this change is going to affect me. Does that make sense to you, Reluctance? Does that resonate to you in what's going on in your life at the moment? Yes, I really think it does. That's great. That's really great. Having those 4 elements is very much saying that you have everything it takes to actually balance your life in all the different areas of going through this very important and hugely impactful over quite a long period of time to a lot of people on the planet. And some people will be impacted more because of what's in their natal chart. Others, it won't feel as bad. Would you like a universe card, a kipper, a wicker, or a chakra card? Universe? That one. No 2 flowers are the same, yet all are beautiful in their own way. Put these back over here. The message on this one: comparisons are odious because they presume all other things are equal, which is never the case between you and me. So with all of those cards, with the balance and all of those elements aren't equal. And there isn't a comparison between each element and each area of your life that will be impacted from those. Because each are unique, each are different, and each will have their own pull and push method of creating what is required at the right time over the next few months for you. So you can't compare what happens with the fire card to what happens with the water card and your feelings, because there isn't a comparison. They will be different. They both may have negative and positive impacts and effects on you, but there isn't a comparison between them because each are individual and they are having the impact on you you're supposed to have at that time with that element of what's going on in your life at that moment. Does that make sense to you? One is not better or worse than the other. They are not equal. They are equally different and important. Yes, good. That's good. Okay, that is good. Am I right? I'm back, Mike. Is that the next person who is up? I'm back, Mike. Should be you, and then Elf, and anybody else who may be in the queue, I'm not sure. Correct. You're very welcome for the reading. You really are. As I said, for those of you that followed, please ensure you press the bell notification, because that lets you know when I'm going live. And who is a follower? Thank you. Press it, great. And if you are on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. Go below to the Twitter panel, and that will take you to my Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter, and you will get the feed from there as well, telling you when I go live. And if you are following me on Twitter, please also retweet, and let's try to bring as many people as we can to the channel. That's great. Thank you. I'm back, Mike. So, Mike, would you like the Hermetic Tarot with Hope, Crow Tarot with Courage, Dreams of Gaia with Dream, the Legacy with Love, or the Tarot Apocalypsis with Believe? Which tarot deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Which stone or which name of the deck do you feel drawn to? Courage. Okay, as a follower, you have a 3-card reading. Would you like a 3-card general reading, a 3-card specific question reading, or the 3-card special reading for the stellium Pluto Saturn conjunction we have? So general, question, or the special reading. I have to warn you, Crow Tarot is very straightforward and blunt and honest in how it picks things. Just the way it reads. So I'm just letting you know. You've actually got some quite nice cards. You can handle it. You actually can, because it's actually giving you some good cards. You have the Shadow card because, as I said, we have the stellium and Pluto. Your Shadow card is Justice. Justice is a major arcana. It is the 11. It is the scales of balance of justice, with truth and justice. We have the crown here almost saying the divine truth and divine justice. We have the little bit of the blindfold here saying justice is blind. And that is saying justice doesn't take emotions into account. Justice looks at the facts and the figures and weighs the consequences, the pros and cons, and makes a well-informed, truthful, just decision. Having this as your Shadow card is saying if there are any legal matters this year, depending on the other cards, and from what I see, you could have some very, very good outcomes going your way with the Justice card. Or if you feel in some way that you have been slighted or wronged, it may not be fully legal, but there could be recompense or someone making up to you or trying to put the book straight or make amends for that. So if that's a situation that's been ongoing or has come up in the new year, or there might be something that is coming to a head later, that looks like a really good card for you, that although it's a shadow card, if there is something coming up and you're quite not sure, as a shadow card, I always get you to say double and triple check any paperwork and make sure you've dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, looked at dates, looks at what you require, and make sure there isn't something you've missed in the Justice Department that is going to impact you through the year. So it is very much card saying could very well go your own way, but only if you've prepared and made sure that everything is absolutely spot on and right. And that sounds great. As I said, if there is something going on in your life in a legal way, and as I said, it can be a passport, it can be a driver's license, you've got to put in mortgage papers, it's signing contracts, it's not just the legal system, but it can be everything up to adoptions, to marriages, to divorces, to changing names, to changing deed papers, to adding something on the insurance. All of those things that need a decision, or someone is making a decision and you want it to go in your favour, then be aware. That's, especially with the Crow Tarot, that's saying claws, really good sharp eyesight, really nail it down, look from a very high perspective and make sure you've got everything that could be absolutely ever wanted. So now we go to Pluto. We have here Cups, and you have the Seven of Cups. This is the card of water. Cups are the element of water, of emotions. The Seven of Cups is often seen as the card of illusion and false perception. When I see it coming with the Justice card underneath, this is saying do not let someone else pull the wool over your eyes and deceive you in that something has been done, or they've done something, or they feel a certain way, and actually they're leading you astray up the garden path, or leading you by misdirection in the wrong way for their own gains. So you have two cards here that, if taken care of, that can make sure it goes in your own way. And if someone is doing that, or you are not looking at something with the right perspective and perception and have actually missed something, then you can fix it. But if that is somebody else who is actually trying to put a spanner in the works and be a little bit underhanded or deceitful or misdirect you with lots of ideas and things that could go great, especially if this is someone who's trying to sell you an idea on a contract for a business, a new franchise, becoming self-employed, working in partnership with them. If there's anything like that and they've sold you this incredible vision of what's going on and how it's going to be and how you are going to fill your life with all these wonderful new things and choices, does that make any sense at all to you or resonate? Then red flag warnings. Keep an eye out, double, triple check everything. Does make sense, because that to me is two red flags. So, and with the Crow Tarot, it's very much a red flag warning, either for you or someone else involved in that situation. Glad it makes sense. Forewarned is forearmed. And if it's for you, every now and then we all need a little reminder and a little prod and let's get this into place, let's get everything done. We're all like that. Oh, I don't do paperwork. And who doesn't want four arms? Absolutely, yeah, so we can do everything. Absolutely, absolutely. This is Saturn, the opposite. We have here the 3 And can you see down here, they've done them in the green, they're normally gold, they're pentacles. So this is the Three of Pentacles. So you have the water here, and you have the earth here, which is pentacles. Justice is an air sign. The Three of Pentacles is someone who is not only very grounded, but is someone who is growing in expertise in their field, who is maybe getting commissions for the work they do, or hey, okay, Angie, how are you? Every time you hear that word, what word is that? I'm not quite sure which word you were talking about, and you always think of that. That this is someone who, so I don't know what your skill set is, or where you work, or what you do as a hobby, but this is someone who has, or is becoming a master in their field, someone who is very dedicated. It's, you just woke up. Oh, good morning. It seems like we're getting everybody just waking up. It's someone who's very dedicated to their work. It's replicable work where they can do it over and over again, but each time it comes out exactly the same. So that's a high level of skill and talent in doing that job. That would mean it was computer day. So does that make sense to you in your level of work, of what you do? Get a new computer tomorrow. So it's about Mike, does that make sense to you? That particular card? You're a student doing computer science. Okay. This is telling me you're going to have and become really, really good at your computer science course. You obviously have a talent for it. I get the feeling that this is saying someone might also be feeding you that, or your perception is very much that when you finish, there's going to be all these high-flying, really, really well-paid jobs, and they very well may be. And I think as you start going through, there's going to be opportunities for you, and you're going to have to sort out which ones are realistic, that are actually going to take you towards the end of your journey, because it's going to be a good one, to give you that balance and integration of your wants and what you desire the job to take you to an actual reality of where it can take you. Does that make sense to you? In your, and are you first, second, third, or is it a fourth year, your computer science? You have 1 year left. So you are obviously now looking for places where you want to go. So these could be companies that you're looking to work for. And there may be contracts coming up in this year, because it wouldn't be the first time that companies have looked for someone who looks like they're going to get in their top percentage in their class, or who has a real good skill set. So you could be looking at or being approached by companies. That makes a lot of sense with this computer science skill set, that there may be some contracts in the offing for some ideas. Whatever they offer, get it in writing. Get it in writing. And being computer science, I know you're very earthed, you're very grounded, very practical. Ensure that they don't sell you a bill of goods to try to get you to do a lot more work than they're paying you for, and that you know exactly what the benefits are and what it's going to entail. Because in the future, we have the Four of Wands, which is fire, which also shows me you also have, and very unusual, to have all four elements balanced within your reading. Yeah, she was a naughty, naughty girl. Mike, we have that little girl you can see on the sofa who's sleeping and looks like butter would melt in her mouth. was all over Anna's computer table today while she was trying to back stuff up and eating her lunch and everything else. And she decided she wasn't getting enough attention, so she bit straight through the cord to the portable data thingy. Can't remember the word, I had it at the beginning. Yeah. And so because it's a special cable, the USB cable, yeah, butter might not melt in her mouth, but USB cables, and she went straight through. It's the second cord she has actually chewed through. One was a brand new phone cord I had for less than a day. She did that. She does the same thing. That was brand new. We picked it up yesterday, ready to dump everything on it. So, yes. So she was put in kiddie jail for 5 minutes in the lounge with the thing around her going, "You are a naughty girl." She loves that new cord smell. Yeah. So your fourth card, I'm Bat Mike, is the Four of Wands, which is fire, ambition, disgrace, career. It actually is a card of new beginnings, of celebrations. It's also the card going out into the new world. Often it's seen as a card of starting a new phase in your life. For some people it's seen as the marriage card or the engagement card, or just starting a whole new life, going through the portal of this 11 and this 11 here. So it's seen as a gateway and a portal through to the next stage of your life. So this is very, very positive. And again, with the Justice card underneath being an 11 and the two 11s here, and actually that we are in the year 2020, so having two twos is a 4 and having this as a 4 is very stable. So it's saying you're going to create a very strong, stable livelihood for yourself, making sure you've taken these perceptions and illusions into account. And if there is anything legal, contract-wise, coming your way, especially if you're finishing and maybe going to work for places to get the right deal, the right benefits package for you, starting out, to make sure that they're not locking you into something that you're going to be there for minimal money and you can't get out of it without it costing you. You like the sound of that? Especially because I know some big firms will say, we'll pay you so much and then we'll pay off part of your student debt as part of it. But then they don't tell you that because it's been paid up in full, they've saved a lot of money and you're still paying loads afterwards and they're still paying you less, but actually the debt no longer exists, but you're still getting a lower pay. So make sure all those benefits and the extra things they put in there. And this is from someone who actually ran her own limited company. So understanding of corporate procedures and how things can sometimes done in other areas that aren't so straightforward and transparent. And that's where some of the illusion might come in as well. Yeah, if anybody's got any ideas on how to stop her when you just don't see her in the next minute, she's just bitten through it. You know, we've used a little water spray to try to stop her going near them. I've, you know, just put her in the little cage area. Just don't know what to do. Would you like, Mike, a universe card, a kipper, a chakra, or a wicker card as your last bonus card? Kipper. Yeah, we actually have a huge tower, over $200 worth of tower, plus there's another scratch post, plus they have all their toys around, this area with their toys, and she's had loads of attention and fusses this morning, loads and loads. You have here the main male. This is very much about you. The main male. I just pulled another one because sometimes when the bad health card comes up, The reason I picked that is that's very much about you, and the main male is the center. So I wanted a clarifying card, see what message it was trying to tell me. Bad health is make sure over the next few weeks you're not pushing yourself to the point that you take on more in your time and energy, especially in your last year, that you might have a lot greater load. Self-care is also very important this year with the Pluto and Saturn conjunction, that we can feel very much all over the place, that our life is in chaos in some areas, and that things are changing much quicker than we'd anticipated. Things may start happening and it catches us off guard. It can drain our energy reserves, make us feel tired, fatigued, make us find it hard focusing, and we don't look after ourselves because we're trying to push through as normal, because we're in Capricorn, and that's very much the suit of being earth, being grounded, and just pushing through regardless. So that card's just saying, although you're strong, fit, healthy, and doing all the right things, don't push yourself so that you get something niggly like a cold that just pulls you down, because you're actually then overtired and overworked and a little bit more stressed. Does that make sense? Because you'll know how you look after yourself, and I know, having been a student many times with 5 degrees under my belt, that there are times we push ourselves beyond. Yes, it does. Yeah, that I know what it's like. I'm a scientist and got multiple degrees, so I know what it's like, that when you're pushing, especially that final year, and you know kind of how close you are to what level you want to be for the jobs you're looking for, we can kind of push that little bit harder in that final year, and kind of, this is all or nothing, this is the make or break. So just be aware you've had a few little warning messages that are there to actually guide you and help you, so that when things start happening you can go, oh, I know about this, yeah, I've really got to look into this. You know, it's keeping the healthy snacks, keeping the water, having a proper study timetable, but also taking time away to socialize and have friends, and have that study work-life balance, and a little bit of mental health and take care of yourself days as well, because it's important to do so. You're very welcome, because people forget that studying is mentally and physically draining and depleting, and you need time to recharge your batteries, whether it's going to see friends, going to the gym, but doing something different, so that you're not just using brain power all the time. You're a different place, different location, and being very mindful of what you need in a healthy, balanced lifestyle. You're very welcome. Now, it should be ELF, if it's going to work properly. Yay! That one was right. Even if we had to like cajole it and coerce it. And then you. Thank you. So ELF, it's lovely to drop into your channel. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciated the shout out, and I just enjoyed hanging out with you. It was really nice. ELF is a follower. Yep. So, ELF, would you like to choose the Hermetic Tarot, the Crow Tarot, the Dreams of Gaia, the Legacy, or the Tarot Apocalypsis for your 3-card reading? So you can have hope, courage, dream, love, believe. The Crow Tarot. Okay. Would you like 3-card general reading, 3-card specific question, or the 3-card special stellium reading, because of the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in the stellium in Capricorn, the special? I do like creating special readings for different things. It's part of the fun of being a tarot reader, taking something and saying, I'm going to create my own reading for that. Exactly. cards are saying, okay. Fair enough, far too many cards. Pluto, Saturn, the integration of the conjunction, and the shadow of Pluto, and what the stellium brings. The undercurrent shadow of Pluto being the deep, dark dive ruler of Scorpio planet. Although it's a 3-card reading, because it's Pluto, because it's Scorpio, it does need the shadow card to throw what is hidden or what needs to have that really deep dive and introspection, because of Pluto being in Capricorn, the earth grounded, hardworking, structural zodiac sign. We have the Two of Cups. This is water, and it is actually reversed. So you can see that up that way there is the wings here of the angel coming down, and the crows together, and the heart, and there is the flow of the emotions and the heart with the crow here. That would be a relationship, a soulmate, a coming together of two people, significant other. When it is reversed, there is saying the shadow side, there is something stopping or creating a change in the emotional feelings, ideas or perceptions that have not been articulated, seen, voiced or heard yet, as it is the shadow card. This can be your personal relationship with your higher self and your inner self, your inner child. It can be a relationship with a significant partner in your life, your significant other. It can be with work colleagues. It can be with family or friends. But there is a relationship where there is an undeniable current that is not conducive to everything being wonderful, because it's not only in shadow, but it's actually in reverse as well. Hello Gunnar, how are you? Hello. Exactly, you're going through a really hard time relationship wise. So this is picked up on the shadow that in this stellium you may have to, depending on what these show, you may have to make some hard choices and decisions, not based on feelings, because the Two of Cups is in reverse. So it is not the heart but the head, the opposite, that you need to look at the relationship and why there are difficulties. Can they be altered? Can there be a coming together and a conjunction? Or do they need to be restructured? Do they need to be rebalanced? Or do they need to be let go of? Because when you look at them in retrospective and you see whether they can be restructured to create balance, or whether they need to be totally disassembled and the relationship put down as, I've learned from that, I've learned my lesson, but it is not a relationship to go through to the next year, the next decade, and we are coming to that last stage where we can really put those things behind us and move on. Not saying that is an easy situation or decision to make, but the card is putting on notice to have a really good deep dive, because this is the shadow card of Pluto that is based very much on, as it's in Scorpio, it is the sensuality, the sexuality, this being the Two of Cups. It's very much what we consider the lower octave of the lovers, and the middle octave being the Queen of Cups. So this is coming down to that. So it's very much the different octaves. This is the lowest octave before going up to the soulmate region. Been a big question on your mind. Okay, we'll see what the other cards pick up. And as I said, although it's the stellium, it has picked up that at the moment in this conjunction between Pluto and Saturn, and Pluto being patriarchal or masculine fire energy, and Saturn being the feminine, the mother, the more emotional archetype, the conjunction between the two is very much this coming up as a relationship. Is there is a very big difference between how the two archetypes and how the two people interact, and in those roles that they play. And he's a water sign. Okay, fair enough. We have here the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is actually also a water sign, and the Hanged Man in Kabbalistic is one of the mother letters, and this actually is in the sign of Pluto, which is the male archetype, but having the Hanged Man, which is the mother archetype of Mem, which is the great ocean of giving, in the Hanged Man, in that position of we are static. And normally when you see the Hanged Man, you can hang from a tree. Because this is water and this was water, the image I have of the Hanged Man, and I actually have one on my website, is Mem is a huge ocean, it's not a lake. So if you imagine a scuba diver and he's inverted and he's in the hangman position, so the legs are up, the arms are out, but he's inverted in the water. He's suspended in all those emotions and is just still. There is no action, there is no going forward, there is no going back, it is just still in the water. That is the feeling the Hanged Man is when he is in that position, and he is retrospectively looking back on what has happened, where he is at the present time, and then reflecting on how he goes forward. This crow is hanging here, and all the poppies are underneath. Poppies are the flower of blood and sacrifice and giving, and sometimes, and this card is showing, we are holding on by our fingernails because we've done a lot of giving. We have sacrificed ourselves by giving and giving and giving, and now we are standing still and we are hanging on to the overhead branch, trying to stop falling into that I'm giving, 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 and not receiving back mode. That's exactly how you've been feeling. I did tell you the crow cards are brutally honest. You also have cups here. You have the Two of Cups, your shadow. You have Mem, which is the mother card, which is the ultimate water card of emotions and drowning in our emotions, where we are still and it is like an ocean sweeping us away, and then we just kind of have that moment where we are just in this huge body of water of emotions going, where do I go? Do I go up? Do I go forward? Do I go back? Do I go side? Do I go down? Where do I go? I am just suspended in an ocean full of emotions, and I have no idea where to go from here. This card is water. It is the 10. It is saying, when you have done all the reflection and the restructuring that this requires, when you have taken into account every facet of the feelings, and you have looked at your wants versus your needs, and dug so deeply in this Pluto-Saturn conjunction, you know exactly what the answer is, because we have the Ten of Cups coming up. The Ten of Cups is happiness, joy, fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. I'll look at the integration card in a minute, but only you can tell if this card reversed and the Hanged Man is enough for you to be able to restructure and rebalance to allow you to rebuild to get to the Ten of Cups over time. Or this Shadow card and the Hanged Man card in the ocean of feelings has allowed you to realize what you must release, what you must restructure and let go to rebuild, to give you that feeling and chance that you can have and are living a happy, fulfilled, productive life. However that seems, the two people in there, the family, it can be friends, it can be you with a flatmate, it can be you just with friends and family. This can be you with your higher self and your internal self and your inner child going, I'm actually happy living exactly how I am, with myself, by myself, for myself, and I'm having a good relationship with myself. Then I'm ready to build and find out if I want a relationship with somebody else. That's the big question. Should I continue fighting and working on the relationship or just let it go? Only you know whether this and this together working on hard enough, whether this integration card of the two can bring it together. This is the Page of Cups. You have an entirely water, emotional related stellium reading. Totally. The Page of Cups is a new beginning. It is a new message of hope. It is a start of a new relationship. It can be start of a new level of relationship. It can be start you rebuilding the relationship. Only you know whether you are starting the next level of the relationship because you've been able to overcome these feelings at the moment, and whether it's your choice or the two of you together talking, whether that too can be turned around and the problems can be sorted out to start a whole new level of understanding and communicating and feelings of where you're going. That's in the past. We've worked out the differences and we'll go forward. Or you've decided that, and only you and the other person involved. I read the cards. I don't say you should give up this relationship, you should keep to this relationship. That is not my place. I am here to show you that there are options. There are always choices and options. The option is, as ever, you can let the relationship go and move forward. That is one action. The second action is to do nothing and allow it to carry on as it is and see what time does. That is a choice and an action. The third choice is saying, we are going to work on this and we are going to make it better. There are always choices. There are, we will have time apart, we will come back together. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction depending on what you do. There are two people involved. That means there are two sides of the story on both sides. And therefore there are 4 different perceptions to take into account. This here is reversed. There are obviously some situations and you're feeling it. The Hanged Man here, it is at a standstill. It is at a suspended animation point. There is nothing going forward, nothing going back. The only way to go forward is to actually decide whether that's a dead cutoff point or it is a point to actually work from and start again with newer, stronger boundaries and understandings and ideas in place. There is the Ten of Cups and the Page. That could well be a new relationship leading to a much happier life. Whether that relationship is with you starting a whole new way of life and doing what it is you love to do, what you want to do, and building a new life for yourself, and then having someone at the same vibration come in, or have you actually had an increase in vibration and the person you are with at the moment has not kept up, and there is a mismatch in how you relate to each other and the vibrational pull. Yeah, and I just applied to a lot of different jobs and have no idea which direction to go in, so my emotions are a mess and I have been confused. I'm really getting that you are. I really am getting that you are. This could very well be that you're happy with the job that might be coming, and I think what you need to do is, when you have them, is have a really good think about what it is you want for your life, because if you're feeling confused about both areas, you're not going to make great decisions on either. If you're pulling cards for yourself and you need to chat to me about them, you can always whisper me and message me. I'm always here to help. You need to get a lot of things in order. Because you were so helpful with a reading the other day for me, and you're another fellow tarot reader, you definitely have some choices to make. But right now, I think you need to go out and meet some other people, get a different perspective, get out with friends, go out in nature, go for a walk, go to the park, go to the ocean. This is the open space in the Le Monde. It's like saying, just getting out somewhere. And by doing that, it's going to allow you to make better choices. I know that there is a male at the whole heart of it, and there is the bouquet of flowers, and it's very much about the love relationship and what's going on. However, let's see. Definitely needs to bring some wisdom and communications, lots of talking. See how they're reacting to the talking face to face and the emails and the tweets, and how they react and interact with you. Getting some very childish behavior, or there is a child involved, or someone who is very naive and innocent in how they interact with people. I'm also getting the lilies, which is obviously the ending of something. I'm also getting the other female card, so I have a couple here, but I'm getting the female after that ending, and the male before the flowers. Is like they're trying to make gestures. Are they enough? Are they actually sincere? Or are they being childlike, just doing what they think they actually have to do? But I do see you with a good home life and some structures. There might be a different job that is creating something far more stable for you in your life. And I see these two looking together. These are the two women. I actually feel that at the moment, here, you're actually liking the new version of you that's creating in a home environment here of your creating, the job, and from that you will then feel strong enough to actually start a relationship, because you will feel you have been grounded in your work life and your home life, and then you can focus on a relationship and finding someone who matches the new you are becoming. You're a fellow tarot reader, and there are times when the hardest thing when we are a tarot reader ourselves is reading for ourselves, when we have situations that we want to work on and we can't, because we just can't see the wood for the trees. We look at the cards, that we're not interpreting them. The same cards are coming up because they're stalking us, because we have the same thoughts going over and over again. And I totally understand that. So that was just an extra because as a fellow courtesy to another tarot reader who helped me with a reading, and because I know as a tarot reader it is incredibly hard sometimes to sort out your own feelings yourself. So a universe card, a kipper, a chakra or a wicca, a dragon fae, or the crystal oracle. It is really hard to read for yourself when you're like that. And if ever you're like that and you need to, send me a private whisper and we'll have a private session and I'll do your reading anytime. Because I know what it's like when you're having a tough time. I really do. And there's no chakra and there's nobody else who you kind of think, where do I get a reading from? Where do I get someone to give me that advice that I need? I apparently can do them on my Discord. I haven't learned how to, but I'm going to, because I'm going to do one of my mods, his big annual year one. I have to catch up with him, so okay, this is a good one. Second chakra, sacral chakra, sexuality. I honour and respect my sexuality and I allow the neutral and natural flow of my feelings. This is very much the Pluto energy. Pluto is very much Scorpio, sensuality, sexuality, desire, needs, and actually putting ourselves first by deep diving of what it is we really need and want, and how we want it, where we want it, and why. What is it about us that is creating that? Sexuality is also coming up from the base of the Kundalini, and it's also what drives our spirit, our passion, and our career ambitions as well. I acknowledge that my sexual thoughts and feelings will arise, and I release unnecessarily guilt regarding sex. I am open to the positive sensual feelings of coming to me from others. At the same time, I keep my sexual activities well directed and in balance. Because often when we are going through a relationship, we then say to ourselves, but no one else will find me desirable, no one else will want me, no one else will think I'm beautiful, and if I stay with them, I will still have that. Sex is not a great reason just to keep a relationship going. Your own sensuality and sexuality is very different to just staying in a relationship because of the physical requirements of a relationship. You always give me a reason to smile, you just don't even know how. That is honestly crazy. Well, that's the cards, and it's sometimes the cards know exactly what needs to be said. They absolutely do. I'm really pleased, and like I said, here when you need me, you know that. And me being gifted, like I say, I'm not psychic, I'm highly intuitive. We were actually chatting about that because one of the ladies who subscribes, who is psychic, she keeps saying, you have no idea how psychic you are, Vera, you just won't allow yourself to believe you are. And I went, to me, a medium is someone who is able at will, and I've had friends who are mediums, and I've been to shows and I've received messages through a medium, and they can just like have this conversation, and I go, I'm definitely not like that, and I cannot at will. And I know psychics can, they can say, yes, I can do this, I can't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, I am not psychic. I am highly intuitive, and I read the cards and I understand and I pick other things up. I'm energetic, I'm an energetic worker, but I'm also a triple Reiki master, so I deal in a lot of energy, and I have done my entire life. And from, as I said, I was born with a shaman at my side when I was born, and I have lived my life in cultural idiosyncrasies all around the world of different cultures and religions and faiths and spirituality, from Sufis to shamans to Brahmins to to being at the Golden Buddha Temple and snake temples and dragon temples my entire life. I do see things that are beyond the card. That to me is my intuition, and it may be that there may be something there. I don't know. But to me, from what I've seen of people who I see, that I would say, yes, that person has true psychic ability. They have a true claircognizance or clairvoyance or clairaudience or clairsentience. They have that. I am very empathetic. I am very energetic. I'm very intuitive, and I'm glad that the gifts I have that I use, and my knowledge and understanding and how I read the cards and the energy I perceive, because people say you don't get energy from the other side there. I do. I feel that energy, so I can't read for a third person because I don't get their energy, but I read the energy flow that's here, and my energy flow here is very powerful because I do Reiki on this area all the time. Yeah, so whatever it is, like I said, I joined the Twitch Coven and someone said that you're a witch. I went, I don't identify as a witch. I identify as someone who is eclectically, spiritually, and very in tune with herself and the elements and the universe. And I believe in higher powers, and I'm an energetic light worker. So, and I open up to spirit, and that's how I go. It's just that's how I feel. That's why I won't class myself and label myself as a medium or a psychic or a witch. People say, oh, you know, witches do herbalism. Well, I trained as a naturopath, and I have diplomas in herbalism, as I do in clinical aromatherapy. I'm a crystal healer. I'm a Reiki master. I'm an extraordinarily high level in 27 different forms of massage and pain rehabilitation as a masseuse. I also have science degrees where I not only understand herbalism, but I'm a botanist. I understand animals because I'm also a zoologist. I took 5 majors in my science. I'm an entomologist. I also did conservation biology and ecology. So I understand how the physical world, flora and fauna, trees, flowers, insects, how the earth, how the geology of the earth and all of that goes together, because I actually have degrees in that. I understand the human body and the psyche because I've done psychology and I've done human anatomy, but I've also done neuroscience and neuropsychology. So I bring all of that into this, and I back it up because I have 5 multiple degrees. So it's not just what I intuit, but also all the stuff I've done on the tarot and the crystals and the runes and the astrology and alchemy and color therapy and psychology and all of that stuff. How did I find time for all that? I'm a real study nerd. When I was 15 and I broke my back, I was in hospital for a long time because I didn't have the use of my legs or my right arm. So I studied, and because they told me I wouldn't finish school, and I was actually I was the top student in my school at the time. So my parents went to the education department and said she wants to finish, and I had lectures that were put on tape and I would actually speak my answers into them, and people would come in and they would change the tape over and I would just do my answers like that. And because I had nothing else to do, I then majored in all the subjects. So I finished my final year of high school, or whatever it is, the equivalent in America, and I had done every single subject I could possibly do. So I did all of that in that period of time, and then I've always studied every year of my life. So if I haven't been doing a formal degree, I've been doing diplomas or certificates. So I was actually still doing a full-time master's while I was having a full-time clinic, running a pain rehabilitation clinic and a women's clinic, and caring for my husband. So I'm a Libra. I balance things really, really well, and I'm a super organizer. So and I have a need to learn and understand things. So that's just who I am and what I am. You're a Libra rising. Yeah, I'm a Libra rising, Cancer moon, Sagittarius ascendant. So I have the fire of the Sagittarius that gets me going. I have the Libra balance, and my Cancer kind of flows me along. You knew it. Yeah, I have a lots of my planets are in Libra. Yeah, I'm a Sag ascendant, and I have another Sag in there. Yeah, so I do have a lot of fire with my Sag. Definitely do. So I think we have Yeet up next. You literally wanted to ask me earlier. Yeah, I said I'm a Libra sun, Cancer moon, Sagittarius rising. I think I have about 3 or 4 planets in Libra. I have a lot. I have a lot of Libra, and I'm a 22 master number as well. Hello Yeet, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you've seen roughly what we do. You are a follower. You have subscribed. Oh, thank you very much. You two with the early subscription, that's right. Aquarius, Sun, Libra, Rising, Virgo, Moon. Very good. Very good. Air signs there. So you have 5 cards because you have subscribed, Yeet. So what I need to ask you is 2 things. First of all, would you like the Hermetic Tarot deck for hope, the Crow Tarot for courage, the Dreams of Gaia for dream, the Legacy for love, or the Apocalypsis for believe? So I'm the weird one. Yeah, no, you're not weird at all. Aquarius, Sun, Libra, Rising, Virgo, Moon. Doesn't make you weird. You're very open and communicative with your Aquarius Sun. Your Libra Rising, you're trying to be balanced all the time. And your Virgo Moon, you have a great attention to detail, but you're also quite fearful of becoming very much the legacy. Caught up in the details and not seeing the big picture. So we have the Legacy deck. Would you like a 5-card general reading, a 5-card specific question reading, or the 5-card special of the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in the stellium in Capricorn? Well, just tell me all about my life then, lol. The Legacy, yeah. Which one, Yeet? Do you want a general reading for 5 cards, or a specific question, or the special? So you can have a general, a question, or the special reading. General reading, absolutely. You know what it's like, Elf? When you do a little bit of astrology, and I'm still learning, I'm by no means an expert, you start to, you pick up a little bit more things, and I'm still learning. I'm always learning, because there's always so much to learn. You've never had a reading before. Okay. Tarot cards have 3 different sections. So we have a major card, what we call a major arcana. And you have, let me see. Okay. So this card here, Temperance, is what we call a major arcana. And there are 22 of those. And they're the big umbrella archetype themes of your life. Then we have what we call court cards, and they relate to, in a normal pack of cards, the Jack, Queen, King that you would find at the end of a suit. And they're in the same, like you'd have a Jack, Queen, King of every suit. We have the same with the court cards in tarot. We have a page, a knight, a queen, a king, or a prince or a princess. This particular one here is a queen. So we have the same, but we have 4 of them. That gives us 16 court cards. the 22 of the major arcana, and then we have the minor cards in the 4 suits that correspond to the 4 suits in a deck of cards. But we have swords, cups, pentacles, and we have the wands. And they're the everyday, mundane, physical things, and they're numbered 1 to 10 just like in a pack of cards, and there are 40 of those like there are in a normal pack of cards. So that's the structure of the tarot. So we understand things by the numbers, we understand things by the suits and by the pictures and the symbols, and whether it's a minor card, a court card, or a major card. So that's kind of a little bit of a very quick 3-minute overview of how a tarot deck is similar and also different to a normal pack of playing cards that you have probably seen before. So we're going to start with the first card, and they're going to cascade down. So the very first card here is swords, this one here, and swords is the element of air. Now air and swords, the suit, talking about our mind, our thoughts, how we communicate, what we think, our ideas, how we speak to people, how we might text them, how we might email them, write a letter, anything to do with our interactions with people on a daily basis, with new ideas, new thoughts. These might be talking to ourselves about new thoughts and ideas, or talking to someone at work or at school or in a group, or just chatting generally with people. But there is a very new start with an ace, and we almost call this a gift. So when we get given a 1 by the cards, it's the start of something brand new and shiny, a new idea, a new thought, a new way of presenting something, and it makes us feel that we're in the start of a new year, a whole new decade, and there are so many new things to think about and thoughts and ideas coming across. So at the moment, that is you, with lots of ideas, lots of new intentions coming through for the new year, and lots of things that you feel you can communicate to everybody else, but lots of new and exciting things happening. We then have the second row, and we actually have 2 wands here. So wands is the suit relating to fire. So wands is the element of fire, and this is the suit that normally is for ambition, desire, passion, career, driving forward, action, taking that idea and running with it, actively taking action and doing something. So you've got a great idea, you want to get it out to the world, and the fire is that driving forward of saying, this is me taking that idea, bringing it from my head out into the reality of the world, and I'm taking it through, and we're going forward with it. You have here the 10 of Wands. But sometimes when we come out the gate with new ideas, we have so many things we're thinking about that all of a sudden we almost come to a screeching halt, because we've got the 10 of Wands. And this is like saying, you're thinking, I could do this with it, and I could do this with it, and I could do this with it, and this with it. And each of those thoughts and ideas is almost become like a burden, because it's like, I have so much possibility and so many different ways this could go, that the burden of carrying all of that straight out of the gate is like, whoa, there's actually a whole lot more to this than I thought. It's not just one thought, but to get it to go somewhere, I can't actually do all these things all at once, all in the beginning, all at the same time. Does that make sense to you? Does that sound something like what's going on in your life at the moment? Yeet. Before I go on with the next bit, if you're very new to tarot, I don't want to give you so much that you kind of go, I'm kind of lost now. So, are you understanding the ace? The one here with the thoughts? Yep, 100%. Okay. And this one here, so the new thoughts and the wands, you've got that. That's okay. Because I know sometimes it can be a whole lot of what seems like a lot of lingo and a lot to take in and understand for your first reading. So I just want to make sure you're up to pace and you're up to speed with what I'm doing. Great. When we realise out of the gate that we've got to drop some things down, you definitely do, because the very next card is the Two of Wands. So you've suddenly realised that's way too much. Drop those. Two choices. Much more sensible. The key to my future is either one of these. This makes an 11 portal. This is almost like going through a gateway and making a choice and a decision of which one of these boxes, which one of these choices and ideas is going to take me the furthest. They're both well balanced. They could both achieve success. What is the best way? Which key to which box should I use? Which one should I push first? Or should I try them both in equal measure, see how they go, and then measure them up to see the two different approaches? So I'm putting something out to the universe through this portal of 11, which is the number of service. So what am I giving to others to make a service to them that will come back to me reciprocity wise in income, status, a better job, a better lifestyle? Two different crystals on the top here of this particular wand. Each means something different. This is almost like a rainbow. This is going, that one has the chance to maybe splinter out into other things. This one is one color. It's very focused. Do I do this one? Do I do that one that has multi-layers from this? Or do I go start out with them both, keep this one in check to see how they balance out, and then maybe this can be the basic bread and butter. This might be the icing on the cake of whatever it is we're doing. Both of those could work in harmony. One might just be, this is the very basic, but it pays the bills, it keeps things ticking over. This is the extra. This is going to go the extra mile, but it's going to take longer. One is short term, maybe one is long term. The two together might give you that feeling that you've utilized some of the ideas, but in a way that is sustainable and useful and practical right now that you can manage. Thank you, Anna. Sorry we've had a few tonight. So we've had the air, we've had the two fire. We now have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is saying she's realised you've put down the boundaries, all the extra burdens here. You've sent something out. What's come back is the Queen of Wands, who's saying you made the right choices here, because she is now more than capable of being in control of those, and the bounty has come back and it has produced a wonderful abundance in the lifestyle. The Queen is not necessarily a female. The Queen energy is about someone who is able to master the ambition, the needs, the career, the drive, and create a very good living, a good lifestyle from all they do. They have the abundance of that. I didn't expect the cards to be so easy to connect to what is happening in my life right now. That is great. I'm really pleased that it is doing exactly that. It can be quite instructive for beginners who've never had a reading to have a first one and go, actually, tarot cards aren't scary. They can give me real life information and insight into what is going on in my life right at this moment, and the choices I may have of what's going on. And you do have choices here in passions, drive, ambition, career, pathways, different ways of approaching something that are successful. But I do see a short, long-term gain of what's going on, of something might be very basic, but there is an extra layer that can be added in. Both are suitable, but there's a different time frame, a skill set, and return on those. The Queen is telling you the returns will definitely come in and you will have those. But again, the difference from having the 10 there, trying to do all at once, didn't work. The 2 is the very start. To get to the Queen, it goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10 is you've got lots of things going on under control. Still have to see what you have to drop down because there might be too much. Then you go through the courts, the page, the knight, then the Queen and the King are on a par to each other. So there's a long way to go from here to here, but there is success in sight. But there has to be a plan of action, which is what fire is all about. It's planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Absolutely. With these cards here and so much fire energy, if you are not making sure, and with this stellium in Capricorn, practical, grounded, detail oriented, looking deep, and I know this is a general reading, but with what's coming out, we have the sun in the stellium, the fire. The biggest fire sign of all is the sun. So with this much fire, you need to shine a light on all the things that are going on. Be aware that the Pluto and Saturn conjunction is making you in Capricorn look extra at details and practicality and where it can take you. When you've done all that, it's just the way it is. We have here Temperance. Temperance in this card is about balance and flow. She is balancing the energies here and up to the light. Again, this is the balance of fire and water. But it is the balance of energies. When you have this much fire around you, you have to understand that it's very easy to get burned. It's very easy to burn yourself out, have burnout, have those ideas raised by other people. All of those cliches and analogies are very true with this much fire in a reading. When you have Temperance, it's saying pull back on the heat, pull the flame back, bring it back under control. You don't have to be a firestorm. You have to be controlled, measured, burning consistently and brightly to move forward, to make progress. Temperance is about realizing that sometimes reining in the ambition and taking the route that is safe and secure to have a steady income, then allowing the extra burning bright, the extra option, that fiery higher risk option. That's the one you make sure you don't put all or nothing in, because what you don't want to do is then find you then have to come back to the beginning for new thoughts, because you've lost and you've raised everything to the ground. By having so much fire energy, you've burned it out and you've lost it all. By having nothing left, you've just let it all burn away. Does that make sense? That you've got to balance and temper the fire with the clarity of thought, bring it back. Because you have air and fire, too much of the air can just combust the fire. You have to rein it in and try to bring in a little bit of calmness. So even with these thoughts, you've got to rein them in and go one thought, one action, keeping it practical, solid, grounded, and then allowing what can grow organically to grow and not push it so fast because it's done really good. So if we do extra of this and extra of this and then grow too quickly. Sounds like your last relationship. Does that make sense, Yeet? But I'm really glad you're connecting with the cards to what's happening in your life. That makes me very happy. So did those last cards, did they still connect, and were you able to understand how they relate to your life and connect? Very much with an event that is coming up in my life. That's really good. Okay, what we're going to do now is do an extra card. We have the universe, the kipper, the chakra, or the wicker. And yes, as it's up there, while you're thinking which card you want, we are here to raise money for charity for WWF. As you know, Australia is burning, as we've just finished a reading with a lot of fire. And Australia is burning out of control. And we have lost so much in habitat, in wildlife, people's homes, people's towns, their livelihood, their homes, everything they own. We are particularly raising money for the World Wildlife Fund Australia, which is helping out all the animals in all the states. It's not just for one state, it's for all of them. And the money they raise is for the immediate injury relief for the animals require at the moment for their burns. It's also helping feed them because they've lost their vegetative habitat. It is also going to rebreeding programs to try to bring back some of the populations, and also to regeneration of habitat, because they're going to have to rebuild some habitats and replant trees, because we've lost some trees that the seed banks will take a lot longer to grow, so they actually have to get them and regrow them so they actually have a habitat to live in. Universe. So if you are able to donate in any special way, we appreciate it. Every dollar helps. Remember, it's Australian dollars, so if you are not in Australia, your money goes even further, depending on where in the country you are, but most of you do. If you raise or do a donation of $25, in my Discord you will see under the charity that there are some handmade, what we call bushfire rescue pouches, that my daughter-in-law has handmade and has used special baby flannelette lining and lined them on the inside with French seam, so there's nothing can actually push into the burnt and fragile skin of the animals. And your name will be as a co-donor on one of the smaller sizes for $25, or the larger sizes she's doing for $50 donation. So you're not only giving money to the Wildlife Foundation for Australia, but you will actually have a physical rescue pouch with your name on it going to the animals this week. So that's something very, very practical, as well as the money. It's a win-win for everybody. They chose you. So this card is saying you might not readily believe this. It might even spook you a bit. But there are those who chose this very lifetime in large part knowing you would be here. Now that's what we call a reputation. Hugs the universe. So the people in your life are very special, and they know you're special because they chose to be in this life knowing you would be on the same life path journey and get to meet them. So whenever you feel doubt that you're liked and loved and cherished and cared for and wanted in people's lives, know that they chose to be here with you. That's a very special message from the universe for you. And it may even resonate with other people in chat. But they chose to be here with you right now. Glad you're back. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick break. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, you had your second interview on Friday. You're so nervous. Oh, that's so good, Heather. I do really wish you well, and I wish you all the luck for your new job. I really do. I hope you get it. You'll just have to let us know when you do. Now, I'm not sure whether we have anybody else in the queue. No, Yeet was the last one. Interviews are absolutely nerve-wracking. Yeah, so we've done all those ones, so the queue is now empty. So, is there anybody else in channel who would like a reading who has not yet had one? Please let me know now. Yeah, I think interviews are the hardest thing in the world to have. And it doesn't matter how well prepared you are, it's just one of those things, they're nerve-wracking. When it's called a technical interview where I have to show off my cutting skills and how fast I do them, that's always terrifying, isn't it? That's always terrifying. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we've just got to see whether you're actually, it's one of those things when you're doing a practical skill as your job, it's like they want to know that what's on your resume and what you say you can do, you can actually do. And we know you can. But it doesn't mean to say that it's not nerve-wracking. Good luck. I know you'll do really, really well. And if you've got that far, you know you've got a really good choice. You're just going to knock them dead. Have you got a good model that you're taking in who says, I don't care what you do, I'm going to love it? Okay. Well, I actually have some time. I don't have any readings. Oh, you just have to use a mannequin. Fair enough. I sometimes rather know whether it's easy because you're more used to doing it like on a person and you kind of have that reaction rather than doing it on a mannequin. Hang on, I just got to go up the top here. That card, Little Rabbit, my grandma went to go to see a psychic and she, I believe, got everything right. This was before I was born, but she said her first daughter, my mother's third daughter, me, was chosen, told about challenging my life I would have to face and overcome, and from this I would do great things with my life. So hearing and seeing that card being pulled almost made me cry. Sorry to sidetrack you all, don't have to read, just thought it is very interesting. No, it is amazing how these things come up. It really is, and it's that synchronicity of cards and what's happened in your life and what's gone on in your life before where they really resonate with things for you. And it's really good to get that feedback. I really do, and I appreciate that. And I can understand why you went, whoa, and that's not sidetracking at all. Thank you so much for that. We like to hear of how the readings resonate with people and how they feel and how it connects with what's going on in their life or in their past or the situation that they're in. So definitely not sidetracking at all, at all. For some of you that may be interested and those who are reading tarot, learning about tarot, enjoying all this stuff, as part of me growing this channel and what I do for myself with tarot reading and all the subjects I do, Heather knows already, but I'm in the process of writing some courses to teach for those who may be interested. So the first one I'll be doing is in numerology, is understanding how numbers are utilized in the tarot, the different number sequences, what they mean. You're excited, yeah. Well, I've done a lot of work with numerology, but it's also, and I do it even on my website, is understanding that there is two types of numerology. There's Pythagorean and there's Chaldean. And so I will be explaining the differences between numerology, where it's come from, how it relates to the alphabet, how it relates to karmic debt numbers, to angel numbers, to the specific number sequences that we work out in numerology for astrology. So for your life purpose number or your destiny number, all of those different things. So I'll be doing them in several stages so that people who just want the very basics can go on, and then those who want further. We'll be doing PDF handouts so that you have them and that you can use them to expand and do exercises with them. But also I'm hoping to record them so that you can actually see me using tarot decks or using numbers to actually show you how to do things, or having things printed out to show you how to go. But you'll have all the sequences within the course on how to do them as well. And I'm not sure if I'm able to, but I'm hoping to embed some things later into my website for calculators and stuff, but that's a little bit more technical and will be later, because that's a little bit above my technical nuance right now, so I have to do a little bit more research. So I will be doing what I call the Pathfinder series, which is the name of the courses. They'll come under my Pathfinder series, and so numerology will have 3 or 4 different levels to take them up through, as will tarot, as will runes, and the other subjects I pick up. So I'll be doing them, as I said, in numerology, in tarot, in oracle, in understanding to carry on with runes, some crystal coursing, all those different ones that I'll be. So eventually, when I finish the Pathfinder series, there will be 22 to match obviously the major arcana. But I will be doing, I'll probably sort of do like 1 or 2 at a time and then build up to those. But numerology seems to be the one. I've posted different things in my Tarot Professionals, and I've had other people say, I really don't get numerology with tarot, or I really don't understand how numerology works. So I'll be doing the numerology first. So what I'll do is I'm going to say to people over the course of a period of time, an expression of interest, those who would be interested in paying for a short course to do this, let me know. Send me a whisper or send it to the Vera at Tarot DNA, and the types of things you're interested in and what it is about numerology that you find difficult or would like to know more of, repeating numbers. I know I had someone say to me, I have loads on 1 to 9 or 1 to 10 and then nothing. I don't know. Oh, I've got a few angel numbers. So we will actually be going through to 100. But we will take you through the 1 to 9 and the 22 for the majors and how to work them out, and working all the different types of other numbers as well. So, as I said, because I'll be letting people know this over a period of time, I'll be putting it as an announcement in the Discord so that people who are interested can let me know. But, you know, it's not going to be in a couple of weeks because I have to finish writing them, and I'm just double checking to make sure that what I'm giving you is factual as well. So it's not just my knowledge, but because I'm a research nerd of who I am, I'm making sure that there are some other references and things as well for you for further reading. So, yes, that's going to be part of my year. So, I know you're excited for them. Heather, how much do you know about numerology? And you, Elf. Well, I have to do something with my time. You're excited for you and for me? Not much. Fair enough. And it's one of those things, when we start learning tarot, there's so much in tarot to learn. But numerology can help bring something else to it, especially if you come across a card or trying to connect cards and you can't see. Sometimes you can go to the numbers, and that helps you in a different layer of interpretation. And as you understand more of the numerology, you also see it in different things, and then as you're working through, those things help you have a different hook to do your interpretation with. Elf, do you use a lot of numerology in your tarot readings on your channel? And is it possible, Anna, for you to do a shout out for Elf and for Heather's channel? You do. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I'm really sorry. I know it's nothing worse than being in pain. So do you just use the 1 to 9s, or do you break everything down? How do? Mainly for times and signs and symbols, yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people use them for different timings, and also the suits for timings as well. None of us know everything. None of us know everything. And sometimes I found when you write a course down and you're writing it and you go, and you go, yeah, I know that and I kind of understand it, but what's the rationale behind it? And you kind of go further, and it takes your own understanding and meanings deeper. So that's what I find. I do it and I kind of go, now take it back to basics, do this, and then I work on it and build it up, and I find that every time I do it, I learn something new while I'm writing something as well, or I see it in a different way, or how it can be utilised in a different way. And it's a great way to learn more, is to teach others. So, and I figured, as I have a teaching degree and I've been trained as an instructor, I should be able to write some courses, and because I've been doing that before. It's just different subject matter, because I used to teach massage and anatomy and physiology. Teach me, Yoda. I need the ears. I had to get myself some Yoda ears. Anna's got herself kangaroo ears for her charity. I maybe need some Yoda ears. Yeah. Yeah, it's been really lovely tonight. It's been really, really chill. Really enjoyed it. And as we said, it's for everybody who's in channel, I'm very fortunate to have both Jupiter Moon and Elf herself here, who are also tarot readers and have their channel. So please, I know they've had the shout outs, go and drop them a follow. They're really lovely, lovely ladies, lovely tarot readers. And I'm hoping we'll build up a community where some of us can actually raid each other with tarot readers, and kind of go, oh yeah, it's really nice to drop in on another channel and what they're doing. It's really nice to do that. So, because otherwise I have to raid other channels and they're gamers, and you're going to lay down, try to calm this pain going on. Thank you so much for the reading. You're so lovely and always have the best energy. Oh, thank you. I don't think we'll be hanging around much more. I think everybody who's here who wanted a reading's had one. We've done our 3 hours and we have a very big day tomorrow. So, Elf, whereabouts is the pain, sweetie? Is it back pain or leg pain or headache pain? Because I want to send you some Reiki. So I want to be able to focus it rather than just send general Reiki. Your back and tummy? Okay. I will send you some Reiki over the next few days and just have continual Reiki coming through to you, sweetheart. Alright? So I will do that and send you some Reiki healing energy. And I'll also send you some emotional healing energy as well for all the other decisions and everything you're going through. And obviously your body is also feeling and experiencing it in physical pain as well. So, no, you're very welcome. What's the use of knowing a Reiki master if you can't say, come on, send me some Reiki? But I definitely will. You're 19 followers away from 50. It's so close. Oh, please, anybody, we are so trying to get Jupiter Tarot to affiliate with 50. So if you have not followed our wonderful mod, Jupiter Tarot, please drop by. 19 more followers and she will be an affiliate. She's done all the things she needs to do. So please, if you can, give her a follow. That would be great. So, and Elf, you go and lay down. I will send you some Reiki. As soon as I finish up here, I will be sending you some Reiki energy, and I will send it through to you for at least the next 72 hours, 3 to 5 days, and give you a bit of time to heal through. So, nobody else wants a reading. I think we are going to call this stream. So thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the comments and taking part in our interactive chat. For those of you who have had a reading, thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you have followed and you haven't already, please press the notification bar and follow me on Twitter. If you enjoyed what we've done here tonight, let everybody else know so they can come to the channel. And if over the next few months before we finish on March 31st, if you've enjoyed your reading and feel you would like to show that by donating to our WWF Australia for a donation, I will have a good rest of my evening. We're going to take it quiet and get ready for a big day tomorrow, stripping down and getting Anna's new computer. So she can't wait. She can't wait. So thank you, everybody. Good night. God bless. Take care. And as always, remember that whatever your tarot reading said, you have free will, free choice, and how you take what the cards said to you through your life is entirely up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and I will be here again. Look at the clock underneath. I do 3 times a week, and we're always good here to help you. Good night, Gnarly. Thank you so much for being around. Appreciate that. Take care, everybody. We are going to end the stream, and hope you all have a lovely afternoon, morning, evening. Good night, and we will see you on the flip side. Take care.